Tell me. Oh, it is live. All right, we're live. Okay. So, welcome to the special edition of the Ghost Train. We're here talking about what would potentially be a pretty big week in chasing. Joined here with Brett Wright, Brady Kendricks over there. I got with Max and Alec, Jones, Jason. Kevin is drinking.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. Braden is over there, chilling. We got a whole bunch of people back here in the living room too, just chilling out. Sunday. So yeah, let's talk about Sunday, all right? Because this is the first day of the big week here. We're calling this Aprilocalypse because that's probably the most appropriate term for this setup. So let's get right into it. So Sunday looks pretty good. You want to Brady on that up there? Click on the box next where it says you, so we can go to the screen share here. Yeah, nope. Do the one next to it. Click on that one. There we go. All right, so we're looking at pivotal weather. We're taking a look at some models here. Let's can we zoom in a little bit here?
Yeah, Control Plus.
Control Plus. This is a new laptop. That's Plus. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Maybe one more. All right. So let's take a look at Wednesday. Obviously, what is that? This is going to be tomorrow. We'll start at 21Z because that's about initiation time. So let's take a look at what we got real quick. Brett, let's let Brett do a little forecasting here.
All right, we're gonna look.
Right, WX Monster.
Let's look at 500s.
Let's look at 500s.
So we got kind of like it's kind of weird, you know. You have two areas of like. You have your main trough up there, and then you have like the secondary, like little spit off trough. You have up here probably where there's going to be initiation in Oklahoma, 48, 50 knots at 500, which is plenty. And you also have up here in Kansas, you have 60 knots, a little bit better upper level flow. So you get 700s. Actually, let's look at 850s first. So with 850s, they look really good tomorrow. Look at this. Southerly 850s, and they're strong. Can't get this thing to work. Okay, there we go. Look at this. Southerly, barely, just a touch southwest. This is mostly southerly. 36 knots at 850. Look at this. It's great.
Now remember, this is at 4 p.m.
Yeah,
this
4
is
p.m.
when storms should initiate around the time.
Yes, and now looking at 700, see where the short wave's at. Prepare. Let's zoom in
Yeah,
here.
let's get zoomed in here on the Southern Plains region or Central Plains. Yeah.
Okay. Look at this right here. Look at that kink. That is going to set off some storms on this area right here. So I'm expecting to see storms somewhere along I-35 and west, like 40 miles. I bet that's where we get initiation. Now, let's look. This is a 21Z. We can look and see what type of instability we got. Should be pretty good.
Good mixed layer cake.
Yeah, really good. Look at this.
2,000 to 3,000 for sure.
Yeah, 2,000 to 3,000. Let's look at a sounding at 21Z, so we kind of know what's going
Looks
on
like we're
here.
about 50 miles off the draw line. Which
Yeah.
would be about the area where a storm would mature.
Yep, we got a little bit of veer flow at the surface, but I'm sure that's going to be southeast.
A
And
little
then,
bit of an inverted look too.
yeah, and then look at this. We got plenty of instability. What else we got? Look at the 500s, 50 knots. They look good.
Oh, good.
500.
Can you see us, or is it just?
No, it's just pivotal. I know.
Okay,
Look how 500 they are.
let's go to 21Z. I mean 0Z, because that's where the magic happens.
Those 500s.
Now you can see that we got storms showing up on the instability. Look at this.
Because we've done this before.
Got storms right there.
Really into it, then
Yeah,
oh, wait,
10 minutes later, we're not even live.
I'll show you the 500s right now. Here's the 500s. Look at this,
Okay,
man.
wait. Yep. Okay, we're live.
Plenty of 500s. All
All
right.
right, so you see all those little white dots
Yeah,
there, and those are
those
storms that have
storms.
initiated.
Yep.
Here's
Here's 850s, unbelievable looking.
it's big.
Southerly at 45 knots. Are you kidding me? Like, this is the real deal. Let's look at helicity.
Remember, folks, we're looking at Sunday. This isn't even Tuesday, the big day.
Helicity is there.
It's big.
And we're going to do the sin and look at composite reflectivity.
I always sin.
Look at
Look
that.
at that. String of pearls, basically from central Nebraska down to Oklahoma.
Look at that thing.
Oh, look at that tail end, Charlie. Oh,
Hi, Steven. Hi, Steven.
oh, wait.
We'll break that. And then Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's not really substantial capping. That's enough capping to get very isolated.
Yeah, photograph. Pretty good.
Curving.
All right. No, that's Sunday. It's a chase day. You chase on a day like tomorrow. No matter. I mean, yeah. Where are we at?
No, it's all right. All right. Brady will get it. Brady's our technical.
We
man.
chase Sunday. Sunday we chase. We're probably gonna get some sort of tornado.
PDS fours tomorrow.
I'm pretty confident we're gonna see a 5%. Probably from let's say.
I would say all the way from like Iowa, Nebraska,
Yeah,
all the way down
to like
west central Oklahoma.
Yeah, southwest of Wichita.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think so.
So probably hatched hail. At least it should be.
15 hatched at least.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I think tomorrow might go to enhanced. I think there's a good chance tomorrow.
Could be.
We could get that 30 hatch for hail and wind.
You know, just for fun.
Coverage though is going to be limited, so
Right. It might be like yeah, but April 15th was a small enhanced for hail.
But not until noon.
Oh well, of course.
Just for fun, let's look at the GFS real quick.
Switch it back here, Brady.
Yeah, let's look at the GFS. It's out tomorrow until 21Z.
All right, so perfect, right?
Yeah. So let's look at dew points. We're gonna have, yeah, that's pretty realistic moisture, I think, for tomorrow. Let's look at 500.
That actually is because we were looking at dew points earlier today. The 60s are still offshore in Texas, so it was going to take time to get up here.
Plenty of 500s for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. The 500s are there. 850s.
Yeah, let's check 850s.
That was when Peter was with us.
Oh man, they're good.
Holy shit!
Yeah, they're a little bit more southwesterly, but not by much. They're still 40 knots.
Look how southwesterly they're on the other side of the dry line. So you're going to have good convergence.
Yes.
And a pretty tight dry line up there.
Check and see if we got instability. We've got some instability. Not as much as the NAM, but still plenty to get it done. Let's check and see.
1,500 to 2,000.
Let's check and see if there's any shortwave coming through. Yeah.
Right there through central. Look at that in northwest
really,
Oklahoma.
Real big time shortwave.
All the way down
there.
to Texas too. Like that is a good shortwave.
Check a sounding here.
And this is 21Z.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're gonna have storms form, and they're probably gonna be higher based.
Yeah, and look at the sin it's zero.
Yep.
Which is not what the NAM said.
Here we got 0Z now. Yeah, 0Z shows insane shortwave. Look at
holy crap!
You're gonna get storms.
You're gonna have a zipper effect where they're gonna form up north and then it's gonna zip down the dry line.
Let's see what moisture does. I don't. Let's see here. Oh yeah, look at the pooling. Look at the pooling. Right on the dry line.
66 on the dry line. So mid to upper 60s possibly.
Instability. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the obviously
look at that.
Increased over 2,500. This is on the dry line. This is kind of maximized, I guess you could say.
Oh, that's a good sound.
Look at that. Good sounding there.
Yeah. Look at the SRH. 250, 0 to 1.
That's crazy. Storm motions are
May 29th, 04.
May 29th, 04. All right, so we're going to have
May 29th,
May 29th, 04.
04.
That's an analog for tomorrow.
Are you serious?
Yeah. May 29th, 04 came up on the
Hartford
analog.
County. That's the best supercell of like all time.
That's like 20 tornadoes at one.
That supercell was pissed.
Hartford
Yeah.
County magic.
Okay, yeah.
Hartford County.
This is great. Okay, let's forget about tomorrow. Tomorrow it's happening.
So tomorrow's happening. Chase, if you're not here tomorrow, you're going to just go ahead and tie your noose up and find a place to hang your rope because you're going to hang yourself.
Yes. Let's look at Monday, Tuesday. Forget about
go
Monday.
to 45. Oh, no. Yeah, forget about Monday. Monday ain't going to do shit. Yeah, so go to 69.
Watch Monday be like the biggest hit.
Yeah, we're not even going to mention that.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So let's slow this down, all right? Because this is big. And
this is instability.
This is instability at 4 o'clock.
Look, we're talking 5100 Kate.
Surface base.
Surface based. This is surface based. Now there's an obvious triple point play in northern Kansas. You can see where that hook in the instability is.
Let's look at the surface pattern here.
Yeah, dew point. This is one of the. Well, we'll go ahead and look at the temperatures here.
Yeah,
You can find that warm front. Right yep, where you get those bars there.
994 low. You got the dry line down here.
Mid 80s. Okay, mid 80 temperatures over dew point. Drum roll, please.
Look at this.
Low 70 dew points. That's a 15 to 17 degree spread in most of that area.
60s, upper 60s on the warm front.
Yeah, wrap it around.
Yeah, let's look at 500s. Prepare.
Start at the top. Let's go 200s.
200s. Okay, 200s.
So this is your amble layer.
Look at this.
So you got a 200 jet. nosing its way into the warm sector, overspreading the dry line. This is perfect.
Look at that, 80 knots. And it's like it's spreading out perfectly. That's gonna support upward motion, and that is what you want. You want lift. Okay, let's look at 500s. Look at this. I mean, come on, are you kidding me? Look at that.
Yeah, that is probably one of the craziest negatively tilted troughs I've ever seen in my life. At least as long as I've been chasing, because you could see how that thing's like. You know, there's the tilt right there.
Yeah, right here.
It's like a 45-degree tilt. I mean, anymore, and it's pretty much parallel with the equator, like Bart was saying earlier.
Yeah,
but I mean, that is insane. That is crazy.
700s.
Look at the kinks in the 700s here. So you have the kink up in northern Kansas.
Big one. And then you got one right here.
A little bit of a kink there.
Yes, it's enough to get it done.
Yeah, because there's really not going to be a cap. And then here's the kicker. This is 21Z.
Okay.
So let's kick it over to 850s now.
Yeah, 850s.
This is your low-level jet, and you can see right there, just off the draw line.
Up on the warm front, just north of the warm front, it's much higher. But down here, you know, it's not super high. But you got to remember, we're dealing with 5,000 cape. You know, I don't know what to say, but I've never chased a day with 5,000 cape with like a negative tilted trough coming through. I don't care if it's 5 knots at 850. There's gonna be so much upward motion that I don't even know what's gonna happen. But
all you need is a storm to slightly move, deviant.
Let's go to zeros. Yeah, I can't take it. I can't take it.
Brett just cannot contain himself.
Okay, now we're talking. Look at the 850s now. They're southwesterly, but 30 knots. Plenty. Up here in Kansas, 35 knots.
Go down, look, Central Oklahoma.
Central Oklahoma, 36 knots.
Yeah.
Let's look at moisture real quick. Look at the dews this is going to be over.
This is over, baby.
Look at this.
That is a very sharp dry line. Look at the dry line. So you have a 49-degree. What is that? Great Bend, probably.
Yeah.
And then just down the road to Hutchinson, it's 60. Is that 69?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of good luck on dry line arcs like
That's a
this.
30-degree spread within, or 30-mile spread, and it's like that sharp.
Oh,
and there it is.
Southerly winds. That's not good.
No. But we do have speed share on our side. Plus, we have 5,000 cape.
Yeah, this
on
is
our side
up
too.
in northern Kansas.
This is northern Kansas, so this is your triple point play.
PDS.
PDS tour, obviously. So that I mean, look at the low level helicities though. I mean,
it's high.
The 0 to 1 is at 200. That is insane.
Let's look at a sounding down here.
Dude,
Like
right on the border. Right on the
bulge.
border.
Yeah,
right on the
here.
border.
Let's do this right in the moisture. Oh man.
Oh my God.
Look at this.
Hey, Brett, who are you chasing with tomorrow?
Me?
I don't really know yet. I'd probably
Chasing
go
with
with
BT?
Brandon. Probably. If he comes back that night,
If
yeah.
you need somebody, we have room.
Okay. That
Yeah.
would be fun to chase with you
I
guys.
know.
Okay, look at this. Is something everybody's been talking about. This is the border. Let's look at this kink right here.
Well, yeah, we're zooming in.
There's 2 sets in the back.
But I want to do my no guards.
Beeb, I'll chase with Beeb.
Do you want to chase?
I'll chase with you. I'll drive you your driver.
Okay.
I'm a
You
fucking-
don't even need to drive. I'm fine with driving.
I'll
Okay.
just say you can do camera work. I'll be the wheelman.
Some people have been complaining about this setup beat and have too much veer back veer. Look at this right here.
Okay, I can try
You
some.
have just a tad veer back veer right there. I don't think that's going to be anything. I don't think that's going to affect anything. When you have 5,500 cape, it's time. What do you guys? Hey, what do you guys think about this veer back veer right here? It is not much.
So the veer back veer, this is a talk a lot of people have been talking about. In my experience, it's not as strong. It's a subtle veer back veer, and yes, it can affect the overall helicity of the storm. But you have good speed. You have really good speed throughout the column that it should compensate. And let's not forget, we have strong cape. That is going to create some very rapid vertical growth in these updrafts. And so if Brick can make it back there to the cape values, I mean, that's 5,400 surface space, almost 5,000, mixed layer, which is insane.
It's
That's insane.
150 0-to-1 SRH.
See, that's the thing. If you look at the storm level velocity, it's really not affected overall. I mean, it's not that bad.
Hey, you should have Bill on. The master chaser, Bill.
Hey, Bill, where's Bill? Bill, right here. Put it on Bill. Put it on Bill. All right, let's get Bill Looster on here.
Bill, the tornado.
Oh, come on, Bill. Bill,
Whoa!
come here, Bill. Talk about the setup. What do you think the setup's going to be like?
Take a seat, champion.
Tuesday. We're talking Tuesday.
Tuesday. This man has been chasing since before all of you were born.
Yes.
Yep, pretty much.
His first chase was 1949.
I think, yeah. I'd say 1960.
You chased the Super Upright?
Which one? Probably did.
74?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, did you chase Tri-State?
1967.
What was that? I don't know what that was. I'm terrible.
Tri-State?
Was your
Yeah.
In
dad?
the 30s? No, that was 20.
Was your mom or dad born?
26, 27. I don't know.
1967.
What's your favorite tornado?
1925.
Ooh.
What's his favorite tornado?
Favorite tornado for Bill?
It's
Yeah.
Hooker, isn't it?
You know, it's probably Hooker.
It's Hooker.
Yeah.
I knew it. I've
Yeah.
seen it.
Hooker.
Was
Yeah.
that an unbelievable experience?
Yeah, because that was my first big plains tornado.
Nice.
So
1993.
Mine was Mapleton.
Yeah,
if you
I would
consider
say-
I'm not sure.
plains.
I think it was in the 80s, wasn't
No,
it, Bill?
the Midwest.
93.
Yeah,
Oh, was it
93.
Yeah, that May 5th,
November
93,
7th.
EF4.
That was a good day.
And that thing was on the ground for
Nice.
probably almost an hour.
Wow.
And it just went through, missed every town, but it was
There you go.
beautiful. Formed into Panhandle of Texas, went right across Hooker, right up, and followed that freeway up there. That kind of
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it stayed about a half a mile north of us. So we just stayed on that road. I mean, just parallel.
That is awesome, man. I'm ready to experience something like that.
Yeah, it was awesome. And there was another tornado about 20 miles to the north of it on another supercell. Wow. We didn't see that one. This one was well into the dark. I mean, we quit chasing it at dark. And it was, you could still see as it was going off in the distance.
Man.
So what do you think about this sounding? This is Oklahoma-Kansas border, 0Z, Tuesday.
No,
So what time is
looks
this
like
again?
looks like a loaded gun. Where are we at?
Yeah, this is,
Is this Oklahoma City?
this is right on the border of Kansas and Oklahoma for Tuesday. 0Z.
You use the structure as the.
Yeah, I like it. Little capped off, but not bad.
It's not bad, right?
No, we can blow it. That's good, actually. I like that. This is at 0Z?
Yeah.
What's
this was
3Z?
right on there.
What's 3Z?
Oh,
I'll check that out. I haven't checked 3Z yet.
so we're still in the moisture here.
Straight
Still
on.
very sharp but stationary dry line.
Like it right there.
Right here.
Yeah.
This is Enid right here, Enid, Oklahoma. At 0Z.
Cap.
A little bit of capping. Yeah.
But
Look at the photograph.
yeah.
Look at the SRH. If
Holy
you have a sustained storm, I think it would not be affected by that cap that much.
No, I don't think so either.
No, I don't.
And that dry line stays pretty stationary, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does not retrograde or mix east at all.
What's that? What's like the 6Z look, or what? 6Z. I mean, is we gonna have anything fire up afterwards? So I think we're gonna have stuff fire up behind these.
That secondary, like the wave coming in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if that comes in about 6Z.
This is about Enid too.
Ooh, that's what I was
capped
capping.
off.
Substantial capping.
Yeah, I capped it.
Well, I might be. And the dry line may mix east a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were near Hank for a little bit.
It does a little bit.
So let's go out here. This is still water.
Still got a lot of moisture down here.
Big time moisture.
Maybe Thursday, maybe Monday.
Got some
that.
70s nosing in. Why don't we just go ahead and click on the Metro?
It's really anytime they catch
Which is right about. That's about more north.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
Ooh.
Is that 6Z?
This is 6Z. This is 1 a.m.
Go an hour back. I mean, 3 hours back. Go up there at the top.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if anything's gonna fire up after dark. Which,
I thought there
But
was.
look at the capping. It's not that strong.
No.
It's at 4,000 K.
Roswell?
Let's see.
All right, let's go back.
still got 4,000 cape at 1 in the morning.
Wow, that was kind of rain right after.
Yo,
75.
Oh, this is 0Z.
Okay.
Let's do Metro 0Z.
Yeah, loaded gun.
Loaded gun. 4,000 K, 3,300 mixed layer here.
He said Bennington.
yeah.
Good. I mean,
Now see if that cap gets broke by
I'm the one
3Z.
arguing that Bennington did have. No, I'm saying what was totally just like, you know, a fan.
You guys talking about Bennington?
Yeah.
you're talking about Bennington, and we're talking about Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
PDS tour.
Oh, is that over Oklahoma City?
This is over Norman.
Okay.
What's up, on
3Z.
that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Trying to
so
get started.
after dark,
After dark.
could be game on. Look at that.
Now we were talking earlier.
Storm Slinky.
We're talking about the Storm Slinky. We kind of learned some stuff about that.
Yeah.
Now, where did we see that sounding in that perfect Slinky?
It was
Was it up north in Kansas?
that was Sunday, tomorrow.
Oh, Sunday.
Yeah. I think, right? Yeah.
I
I remember here.
So
Sunday.
Sunday is just like a surprise day. Like it really ramped up.
Sunday ought to be a great day.
Yeah, I think tomorrow's gonna be great.
It'll be a fun chase. I think Tuesday will be a scary chase.
We go find Ben and Mark because they wanted to talk. So if you want to keep the camera busy, Brett,
All right.
talk about Sunday or Tuesday or something.
It's more about Tuesday.
Let's look at some. Let's look at some tornadoes. What was your favorite day again? Hooker.
Hooker. I think it's May.
Robert Prentice's video of it.
That's what I remember.
I do too. I haven't posted mine yet. I will.
You haven't posted your video?
It's better. It's better than.
Yeah, Robert didn't see it until pretty late.
Oh, I got
right here.
stuck.
Yep, that's it, boy. That's it. I saw from the minute it went down. I got it. Most of it. Yeah. See how it just paralleled the.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah, but go back up. You can see right here on the map. Yeah, right here. See? No, I'm sorry. Go back. I want to show you the road map
Okay.
because that thing paralleled that freeway right here.
It's a touchscreen, I think.
Oh, it is. That helps.
I mean, that thing. If you look at the path, it followed this. Just followed this path.
Wow. That's the secret. What would that get rated?
4.
4. Okay. What town did it hit? What did it hit?
It did. It hit a bunch of farms.
Is this it right here?
That's it.
Wow, it's a huge wedge.
Yeah, that's it.
Look at that.
I was with Greg. He took that picture right next to me.
So this is what you can expect Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these.
A lot of these.
All right.
So Greg Stump was standing right next to me when he took that picture.
That is a huge tornado.
I was filming it. He was taking still shots.
Awesome.
In fact, I got a picture on my video. I actually scanned down. You can see Greg when he had a mullet.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's hilarious. In fact, I think Ben actually still took a snapshot. He's got it somewhere. Every now and then he'll send it to Greg.
So this is right at 0Z. This is your crossovers and surface face Cape. Very interesting area right here, especially in northern Oklahoma, where you have a kink in the Cape, which might signify a kink in the dry line.
Dry line bulge.
And so, yeah, exactly. So pretty much you have a good area.
Right on the border.
Right on the board, yeah, right here, Blackwell, Medford area, Alva. Should go for it. Should be pretty good. Now look at this. Yeah, look at this
Cape comes in. Don't. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Bill ruined it.
Bill ruined it. Don't rule out this area with its high Cape. Either.
So Bill's saying don't rule out this area for development.
Right here. Yeah.
And let's just click the sounding right there.
Bill, did you chase April 26, 1991?
Yeah, Red Rock Day. So this is down there, showing marginal torque.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking it might be. Is there capping? There's a little bit of there's
a little bit of capping.
Look in the mix layer. The mix layer is pretty capped right down there.
That may be the problem.
We're now joined with Master Beeb.
Master Beeb.
Master Beeb, Max Olson now.
Yep. That's where I would go. Right on that border.
Right on the border here. So this is
That's another reason. That's better chase turf up there.
Look
at that.
Yeah, some PBVs
A
though.
little veer in there. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that kind of ruined that area.
Go back. Get a little tighter.
This is Tuesday.
Right on the border, right here.
So we let Bill click this one. Same thing.
Same thing.
Oh, it's like the wrong side.
Now that's got to be on the wrong.
This is the wrong side of the dry line.
That's wrong side of the dry line. Yeah. Look at the.
Wrong side of the dry line, and there's still 2600 Cape. Oops.
Yeah, but
There we go.
get all those farther.
Let's just do it way out here.
The FJ is difficult to sit in.
Same kind of problems. You have the BBVs on the. This is just the NAM.
Yeah, but then think about like May 6th last year that had insane VVV, and then you had those tornadoes. Up
Right. That's the thing.
Northern Kansas.
That's what I was saying, because like you have, but here's
Although I think those were higher
I
up.
don't like that wind back right here either.
yeah, right in the 500s.
Yep. I don't like that either.
So if we don't like that,
Is this GFS or NAM?
Oh, for
this is NAM. Oh, my bad. Wrong button.
Are you not?
Oh, hey, you know what? I think we were looking at like 3Z. That's why I look like shit. We were totally like, we're shitting on the setup and it's 3Z.
I'm like thinking I'm going home.
Yeah. This looks better.
That looks a whole lot better. It's still more up by the border.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Look at the cape there.
Yeah.
Holy schmoly.
So let's just.
What is that? That's pushing
Let's
6.
just bullseye. Let's just bullseye this cake.
Holy
That's better.
schmoly.
6,000 surface base.
Look at
5,300.
that sounding laying over.
Yeah.
Almost off the
Yeah. This
That's
is a way
much
better
better.
sounding.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say we were just like totally all over this, and then what happened? Okay, we can thank Brett Wright for that. Thanks, Brett.
Yeah, where's Brett?
Yeah, Brett's fault. Okay.
I stole your spot, Brett.
with my phone.
All right. So this is much better. We should have just kept going with it and made everybody go home,
Yeah.
and then we had to set it on ourselves.
I lost my phone.
Damn
They
it.
were on 3C and they were trying to figure out why we started looking crap.
Yeah, we were on 3Z the whole time because he said, "Look at 3Z or go back to 3Z or something like that." And so your fault.
I gotta get ready to go. I gotta go to bed.
All right, Brett's got to go.
Brett's got
I'm
a.
running the
He's
Oklahoma
got
City
it.
Half Marathon.
That's
he's
all
got a
capped
marathon
off.
on.
Okay, so bye, Brett.
Got a little bit of cap.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, by the tornado.
Yeah, that's right.
A little bit of capping.
Hey, Brett, hit me up if you don't have. If Brett and Brendan.
Brett, are you leaving?
Yeah, I gotta go to bed.
Hey, tomorrow, man.
All right, back to this forecasting because we're
See you later.
totally
See you
ready.
tomorrow, by the way.
Brett, are we gonna take this monster off?
Yeah.
I would right now. I'm leaning more towards right in,
Are you going to the gym today?
probably right up at the border.
Right at the border.
Couple reasons.
you need to.
All right.
I like that. If you look up at the 200, you see Divergent up there, and also I think the chase. You
The
can
territory.
you can go east of 35 up there, and you're okay.
Yeah.
Not
Not
for
too
long.
far. Yeah, not too far.
Not too, but better than here.
Yeah, because once you get east 35 in Oklahoma, it gets bad.
It gets bad in a hurry. So, I right now I
So
would
Bill
go-
wants to chase a little bit further up in near
Well,
the
like
border.
Ponca City to Wichita.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but further west, a little bit further west.
Oh, yeah.
Wins like the.
yeah, show the 200 millibar.
You'll see what he's talking about.
Right. So you have that jet nosing in.
Yeah, a little bit of it going here. When the jets come in here. Yep. So you're right up here. You got this out here. You got this coming. Look at
Difluence off.
Difluence aloft there.
This is a little touchy.
See the difluence here? It's just
Yeah.
right. This is out here.
So
This is
basically,
going- this is going here.
Yep.
It's kind of pointing right there.
So yeah, so you have your winds out here kind of going out more easterly, and then over here more northerly. So basically, this entire area is going to be just a huge vacuum,
Right.
where you have that difluent flow.
Oh, look at that! Look at that jet coming.
Now here's the good part. Here's the 500s at 0Z, and I mean I don't know if you can get much more textbook than that. Almost.
No,
I mean,
a ski ramp.
yeah, the ski ramp.
Now you get see how it's all kind of coming apart right here, right?
Yeah, right in northern Oklahoma.
Yeah. Even
And then
there.
we go to the 850s, which are
Good.
critical for your low-level jet. And Brett was just talking about this.
The thing I always look at when you kind of have southwesterly dip, you look at the 925s too.
Yeah, the 925s, which are pretty much closer to the LCL.
Yeah, there you go.
You got more backed winds,
That
about
works.
20 to 30 knots.
Mhm.
So, and like we said, the biggest thing was the cape. It's just so substantial. On top, underneath all of this,
My cape's better up there.
Now, secondary target for anyone that doesn't want to chase the dry line will obviously be the triple point. And there's also a third target, I believe, in Missouri, if you're brave enough to do Missouri, where you have high cape and you're still going to have that warm front draped out there.
Why would you want to chase?
And I don't know why you would want to. No, Craig should go there. Yeah, Craig Mayer should
Give me
go
three
there.
good reasons why.
Yeah,
Give me
yeah.
one.
Fort Morgan
Yeah.
just has a massive
Yeah.
tornado.
But yeah, wait a minute. What is this? Let's make this clear that this is Ben's laptop.
I just saw that.
This is Ben's laptop.
See that avocado?
Where am I? Oh, wait, okay. You made me close pivotal.
Damn it.
What the?
Totally messed up the ghost train.
No, that's exactly what we need on the ghost train.
Fucking rails. Don't go back.
I'm trying to go back. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
Avocados.
Yeah.
We lost her.
I'm just like, all right, anyway.
Do we have anybody watching live?
Yeah, we got like 20 or 30 viewers.
2,000 now.
Can you see?
Nope,
Where do you see?
No, go back. It'll be up here. 32 viewers.
Woo! 31
Okay.
now.
Yeah, no joke. So this is I just clicked on Missouri. This is in Missouri right
That's
here.
not a bad looking either.
Jeez.
Now the shear's a little bit lacking, but look at you have 6,100 cape, almost 6,200 cape down there. And
Yeah.
great
Yeah,
general.
that's what I'm looking at.
So this is like almost a third target if
Yeah.
you want to stay away from crowds and you're brave enough to do the forest.
Maybe
space
it's
thing.
tacky, but it's like really good.
But see, on a lot of setups, on a lot of the analogs and stuff, they show there's a lot of tornado reports out of Missouri. On
But
setups
there's
similar
nobody's
like
ever
this.
there.
No one's ever there. I was saying earlier that there was the number one analog earlier today was April 11th, 01 or something like that. April
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
so I don't remember what day that was. I was talking about it earlier. And what was interesting is that day there was a tri-state hailstorm where it dumped baseball-sized hail because it was a storm that rode the warm front, went all the way through Missouri, started in Kansas, went through Missouri, dumped hail.
Couple tornado reports.
Yeah, there was a few tornado reports with it too. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some supercells tracking through Missouri as well.
And
And
they're gonna be wet, messy.
they're going to be messy, yeah. And then they're just batch rain.
Right, and you're in the almost non-chaseable territory.
Right, exactly. Now we go on the triple point. The triple point target, you kind of look for the center of the arc, and then you go a little bit northeast. See you later, Brett.
See you, Brett.
Good luck on your marathon.
Thank you.
So this will be about.
Finish line with the horns.
Woo! So this is your triple point. Great low level
Oh,
turning
wow.
again.
Wow.
This is just off the triple point, and you can see great low
It's a
level turning.
PDS.
It is a PDS tornado. You have really good helicities pretty much throughout the entire storm. No capping, 5,000 cape. I mean, it's the same story all the way up and down thermodynamic wise.
Low level too.
And obviously you get closer to the warm front, you have greater turning at the low levels.
But will it be washed out? Do you think there'll be storms earlier on?
There might be, and what I always fear about that triple point, and especially near the warm front, is you get that hot mess expressed. You get storms that get really HP and really messy. They train next to each other, and it's really sketchy kind of chasing area.
Because the parameters on those big days will always look good up there, but then you just don't. You just hot mess
kinda-
express, yeah.
Exactly.
And then you look
They
down
pile
south and
up
there's
there.
there's that
piles up
low
against the
supercell
warm
on the
front.
ground line.
And then you
And then what you end up doing is the warm front kind of gets reinforced with all the precip, and then the warm front gets a little washed out, and it gets pretty messy kind of quick up there.
And then you get a Shawnee down south.
Exactly. Then you're regretting yourself because there's usually a big monster down south that's just lone and all by itself and just producing.
those are not very photogenic.
Exactly.
So you're gonna get a.
Now we're focusing here on the whites, obviously, which is where the higher cape is, and of course you have a triple point up here. But let's not forget, there's a lot of cape around the entire worm sector. Out here in the metro, wherever the metro is at, it's about here.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, it's about here. So over 3,000 cape is enough. And what I've been taught is anything over 3,000 on the cape wise, the storm starts doing weird things. It kind of
Creates its own environment.
creates its own environment around it, and it just becomes insane. So, it's a pretty significant day. Obviously, let's push the easy button here. Look for the SIG tour. And, I mean, it's all the way up and down the dry line. And, of course, off the triple point, too, is where it's going to be maximized with the low-level turning.
And backing winds.
So,
Right up
I mean, the
on the
obvious
front.
obvious target would be, right here. There's the bullseye. What is that? Is that Wichita-ish?
Yeah.
That's right over Wichita.
Yeah, literally.
So, Andover Part 2,
Yeah.
25 years later. And there's a sounding out of Wichita-ish.
That's a nice sound.
Great sounding, great turning with height, very fat thermodynamic profile all the way up.
Yep.
I mean, Tuesday really screams like a big day. Now I'm not sure if we would call it an outbreak type of day.
Depends on
It'll be a severe weather outbreak, probably.
It will be a severe weather outbreak.
the timing of the Jets. The difference between it being like a
Yeah,
memorable day and like a I don't know outbreak kind of
like a high risk kind of bust where you only get 1 or 2 storms that might do it. You know, kind of the
Yeah.
that's basically the difference between April 2609 and what could be April 2691.
Yeah.
So
What's also concerning is the metropolitan areas that might be in the line of fire, just because the dry line is going to be based probably just west of US 81, and that puts the Oklahoma City Metro right in the crosshairs, for example.
So the Oklahoma City Metro, Wichita Metro, maybe even Lawton down south if the dry line sets up further west, and of course up north, Hayes, Salina, Topeka, and then anything overnight too, because let's just jump 3 hours ahead on the SIG-TOR. And you can see up north in Oklahoma, the SIG-TOR really maximizes out.
That was you, I think. What time is that?
This is 3Z.
I'm gonna
Grab what?
That reminds me of April 14, 2012.
Hey, go to the camera.
Nuts up in northern Oklahoma.
So this is 3Z. Good turning with height on 3Z still. Really, really crazy thermodynamics. And really good storm level felicities, 275 at the 0 to 1, or the surface to 1, which those are some really high numbers for surface to 1, like all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
So, what, Alec?
When you go back to the camera.
Yeah, I know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So,
We know.
You don't know, Bill.
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know, Bill.
You don't know what's going on here.
You know.
No, you don't.
Bill
Like
knows.
that picture from before. I know.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, it's a crazy day. And
What's also concerning is like synoptically, this day is matching a lot of like if you look at the analogs from the synoptic scale, this matches there's a lot of big high impact days that are coming up in some of the top analogs.
It's a really dangerous day.
Synoptically, this is a pretty textbook case, but the things that are going to make or break this day, we won't really be able to resolve until we get closer. Like the dry line positioning, the timing of the jet.
Right, and that's kind of the biggest thing is, where's everything going to fall into place? That's the biggest thing.
Do we have anything on the
The jet's a wild card. I mean,
the GFS should be all the way out there. Yeah, there we go.
Hey, there we go.
So let's look at the GFS real quick. All right. Just kind of some extra model data,
What do we want to see?
Oh, I mean, we're going to look at everything. We're looking right here. This is supercell, and EHI. So there's your
500.
500. This is 0Z. So this is actually more impressive because you still have a very negatively tilted trough, as you can see right here how tilted this is negatively. And you can see, look at that shear, just the 500s overspreading the dry line.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of dry line, let's see what the surface plots are for dew points here. And
Shows a little further east.
Yeah, a little bit further east.
It's right on I-35.
The GFS tends though to put it a little bit further east, so
not as sharp either. But I mean, with that kind of forcing above everything, I don't think you need to worry about that. Let's go to the 850s here. Still strong.
Nice.
Almost due south.
wow.
that's actually more
Due
impressive
south.
than the
So
analogs.
the NAM wasn't as impressive as this. And then
That's
we jump
good
up
that they're
to
in
the
general agreement with each
Jump
other.
up to the 700s. And it's seeing some shortwaves right there, especially working their way through northwest Kansas, central Kansas, and this area, southern Kansas. This is at 0Z, so I'm sure these shortwaves worked their way further west earlier and probably fire some storms off. Now,
I'm still thinking the border.
yeah, and I mean, the GFS is kind of agreeing. I think southern Kansas and maybe northern Oklahoma might be the hot spot. Exactly, man. Harper County, I'll take it. Away from populated areas is probably the best.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, we'll kind of compare all that over the
Yeah,
crossovers.
do Cape also. See what it says for that.
Yeah, you can see the surface-based Cape here quite a bit. You got a lot of 4,000 to 5,000 Cape in Kansas and northern Oklahoma.
Those crossovers are good
The
too.
crossovers, yeah, they're
Great.
just perfect turning right there. Good, almost 90-degree angle from the surface to 500s, which is great. And you said surface-based Cape.
Yeah, that's surface.
Yeah, that's surface-based. So yeah, the 4,000 or so.
GFS says go to Kansas, doesn't it?
It does. This one screams Kansas.
The NAM doesn't tell.
And then you go to storm alert felicity. Look at that bullseye in the SRH there in southern,
Just sitting
right on the
Wichita and
border.
wait.
Pretty much. You know what I mean? That's The strongest turning.
Yeah, look at
Look at that! Wow, that's crazy. Although it's none. It's got. Well, look at the capping, man. There's some substantial capping.
On the right side.
Oh, I'm not on the right side.
Yeah, I
of
was
the
about to say you're west of the dry line.
west of the dry line, and it's and in the. Well, I guess the storm helicity is a little bit higher on that side. So this should be on the other side of the dry line. Nope, still not.
You gas.
All right.
Go to the
There.
go to moisture.
I'm working
Get
on
on the
it.
right side of the door.
There, I'm on the
you
right
go,
side.
PDS store.
There, I'm on the
That's
right
how
side
you
of the dry line
know.
now, right? Okay.
Goes from none to PDS.
I mean, the GFS is showing some great turning with height.
Yeah.
Look at these the significant analogs there. Obviously, May 3rd, 99 always comes up. There is
Still.
April 21st, 99.
Hey, there's Ben.
June 13th, 01. Yeah, there's quite a bit here going on. So Ben Holcomb is now here finally. Maybe.
Hey, man.
That's the king of the castle too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have more dishes for me to do?
No, the dishes are running.
Oh, good.
So we were just looking at the GFS. The GFS is finally out to Tuesday.
Good.
What is that,
This
helicity?
is storm level helicity. Surface-based cape showing 4,000.
200 millibar.
200 millibar.
That's punching Oklahoma too.
Oklahoma, yeah.
And then here's the 500s.
Oh man.
Crazy.
700.
Nope. Oh, damn it.
Oh man.
Too fast. My fingers are working too fast.
looking at Tuesday.
And yeah, there's 700s. Short waves right there.
Waves going through here.
Yeah. So what time is that, Zerozy?
That's
So
your bad
you're
direction.
gonna have 4 p.m. storm initiation in Oklahoma.
And then the 850s look better than the NAM did.
Oh yeah. Wow. Due south. Wow.
It looks way better than
Well, that looks pretty good.
It's hard to ignore.
So you know what I'd be interested to do while you have the stream up? Why don't you pull up the Storm Prediction Center's historical outbreaks page and compare this to April 26, 1991.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'll do that.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And over in Red Rock,
Yeah, remember?
there was what, 3 F4s and 1 F5 that day, and
Yeah.
17 EF3s and like 14 EF2s. I mean, it's just insanity.
Wait, Red Rock was only an F4.
Yeah, because it didn't get
That's unreal.
right. It didn't hit anything, so
Hey,
it had better
wanna
wind
see, hey,
speeds.
Max, you want to see
That
if
was
we're
probably
getting
stronger
anything?
than Angle, honestly. Like,
According to
David
the
and
radar
Tony?
side, it was.
this was a ridiculous.
That's a fun looking marginal. That gets me all sorts of excited.
Yeah. Jeez.
Bill just got up on it.
Yeah.
Wait, where do you go? Oh, wait.
Hold on, do you need me to go grab my laptop? Just Google historic tornado outbreak.
Oh, isn't it the violent outbreak thing?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's got all the service and all the analysis maps. Yeah. Come, Bray Dobbs, come hither.
Hey, Bray.
You get out here, man?
I'm gone, guys.
So I'm going to see you on
Good luck
Tuesday,
tomorrow, man.
right?
Maybe.
Jason, good luck tomorrow.
We'll see you
Where
out
you staying
there.
at, Jason?
I'm going back.
What
Are
are
you
you,
really?
what are you driving?
I've got a Reddick still.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not here, but that's what I'm
Doesn't it have the thing up the top? The mast at the top? Oh, okay.
That's. I don't remember who's that.
All right. so we're-
Colt used to have that.
That's who I'm thinking of.
That's who I was
Cole.
thinking of
Okay.
too, yeah.
But I'll see. Hopefully, I'll see you out there Tuesday. It works out for you. If not, you got some big events coming up here regardless. So,
All right, guys.
It was good seeing you, Jason.
All right, good to see y'all.
See you
Have a safe
tomorrow.
drive.
Right now, the nose of that jet.
Hang on a second. I got a screen share. I don't know why it's not coming up on Hangouts.
Ben,
I was down here.
Ben, we need your help, Ben.
IT
Marcus,
IT
never mind. Never mind. Marcus
Fine.
unbroke it.
I unbroke this.
Do you need me to turn this off again, like I did the other
Do you want
computer?
to work this since you're
Yes, you can see.
versed in it?
I'm not very
Ben,
well versed in it, but
I'm letting Mark touch your laptop.
It's gonna smell like shit for the next few years.
it already does. Let's just be honest here. So let's do this. You can split screen. Let's open right next to it, Pivotal, and do a side-by-side comparison of this event. So go on ahead and let's bring up the 200 millibar
Let's
jet.
just do this since it'll be easier to compare it this way.
Okay, let's do the. I'm gonna move the mic directly out of my mouth so I'm not over, like that. Need the boom, boom. Boom, boom.
Outside? I don't know. I've never used it really.
So
300.
beautiful.
Okay, hold on. So, yeah, I guess we're gonna have to deal with 300. And then what you do,
Okay,
see how
let
the
me go 300 here so we get that comparison.
so if you look at the violent tornado page, you'll see how it has 6 hour, 3 hour. That's tornado reports.
Okay.
From the time period you're looking at, so we're at 0Z. That's we'll go forward or backward 6 hours. So let's do the 300 millibar analysis, and so there we go. So now we can see where the tornadoes occurred,
Okay.
and then you can compare that side by side. So if you look here on Pivotal,
Wow.
Yeah, very, very relatable setup here. You know, you have the center of that is right there in probably southeast Wyoming. This is Pivotal showing, almost the same thing here, southern Wyoming.
the tilt's almost identical. The only thing that concerns me about the tilt is this ridge that's coming in behind it, and whether or not that's going to shunt it more to the negative or less to the negative. And the GFS has had this more negative, but even if you take the median between what the NAM and the GFS is showing, it's still much more. I mean, it's still a ski jump, and it still looks amazing.
Right. All right,
So let's go down to 500 millibar. Both.
500.
Here we go. Hold on. It's because I messed up. I done broke it. Okay. I'm just going to go 500. Let's go to the analysis, and we'll get up.
All right.
So same, almost identical level of tilt.
Right, about 75 knots in that jet right there, overtaking the area.
You'll notice that we don't have that ridge behind it like we did on that day, and there's that ridge that I'm talking about. But it's much weaker on here than it is on the GFS.
This is GFS.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then what?
NAM?
So the GFS is showing it even a lot more tilted than what it did yesterday.
You want to go NAM or you want GFS?
No, I like the fact that the GFS is in better agreement with what we were
Because the
looking at.
GFS wasn't really as strong with the setup as the NAM was. The NAM was definitely an outlier.
Right.
It almost looks like the GFS is starting to come into the NAM solution.
Well, it's coming in almost identical with how tilted the trough is.
Right.
Because if you look at it yesterday, if you compared the runs yesterday, it was a lot higher amplitude, but it was more neutral than it is showing right here.
Right.
And so the fact that the GFS is picking up on, that's one thing that this system has had, even in the long range, has been consistency between the models. The Euro and the GFS were in good agreement.
Yeah.
And now the NAM is coming in line with it as well. And even with it being the outlier on the strongest, if you take the median between all three of them,
Yeah.
it still looks like we're going to be dealing with a day that we're going to be talking about for years to come.
Yeah.
And as we drive down the highway, we're going to be pointing. Remember when that high-end EF scale tornado crossed here and took all this out? So I still this system's a little bit further south than what we saw on April 27th. You know, you can see the exit regions right up here, whereas on here it's really further south. If you go with where I like to be in the middle to the northern part of the exit region on the 500, you're still looking at an area from Oklahoma City to I-70. I think the venting is better down in Oklahoma.
Much better.
Yeah, much better. And so, God, it's really distracting in the background.
Wait, so let's explain. We're trying to forecast, and there's a game of Cards Against Humanity going on in the living room, so you'll hear some weird things.
And they're not coming from my mouth for the first time. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. So, you know, I think if you get into Kansas, you're going to deal with a lot messier storm. You're going to have tornadoes up there, but it's going to be real hard to see them. And if you try to play the EHI bullseye along the warm front is almost a due east-west orientation. It's not moving very fast to the north. Your storm motion is forecast to go way across. It's going to be a lot faster than the northern progression of the warm front, and it's not going to line up with it. And even the right mover motion on the forecasted photographs show the storms still crossing the warm front. They may ride it briefly, but they're going to cross. That's not to say they won't have tornadoes up there, but
it'll be harder to see.
Really short-lived storms. Okay. It'd be like what happened on Greensburg Day.
Missouri, you can't change that area.
Right.
Yeah, because Missouri,
You're gonna
we're
be in the
talking about
ozone.
Missouri, the warm front is draped in Missouri, and there's high Cape. and it's possible we'll see tornadoes
But-
up there.
but even
I
back-
mean, come on, I mean,
But
you're
even back on I-70 closer to the triple point, I think you're going to run into the same
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
And so, in Greensburg, that got a lot of people. They went north,
right.
and they've dealt with those storms constantly crossing the front. There was a couple tornadoes up there, but it was, what does everybody talk about? Where did the big stuff happen? The craziness. That was
dry line.
Ellis
right.
County and Greensburg and that area.
And sure, that was because you had just-in-time parameters just nosing in at the last second. But still, that's not the case this time around. We don't have to worry about that. Let's look at the 850s between the two of these. And I'm picking April 27th because over the last few days, April 27th has been the system that has been probably the closest in comparison between them.
26.
Or April 26th has been the closest. For those who don't know the date of this 1991, this is the day that Andover, Kansas was wiped out by a very strong F5. We didn't have the EF scale. But in addition to that, you can see on the top right of your screen, there were 4 EF4 tornadoes that day, 7 EF3s, 17 EF2s, and 14 EF1s.
Right there, that long track was the very photogenic Red Rock Billings tornado that was it Tim Marshall got good video of, or Bobby Prentice.
Everybody did. Robert Prentice,
yeah.
Bluestein was there. Marshall was actually up in Andover, I believe. The thing on that tornado, though, which is the one that Marcus was massaging with the mouse just a second ago on northern Oklahoma, that longest
right
F4, that one right there. It's big and it's a grinder. The deal with that one is that per the radar data that Bluestein got was probably actually the strongest tornado of the day. It just stayed over rural nothing. It sideswiped the edge of a rural fire department. That's about the most substantial structure it hit. So they had to give it an F4 rating.
And this is the Andover track right here.
Looking at the first off, just go ahead and let's go back to the 850 there and just do the 850 winds and hit the 6 hour there so we have the tracks on that.
Okay.
And so you can look at your speeds there. And
so you got 40 to 45 knots, and then down here you also have about 40 knot due southerlies right on the I-35 corridor.
And your crossovers are almost identical between the two of these. So this one, the trough's a little bit further south, but than what happened on the Andover day. But it's still, in my opinion, is very, very close.
Not much so.
Right. And this is why my target is really, and I hate to do this because I hate to typically divulge a target going forward, but on a day like this, I think it's going to be an obvious target. Oklahoma City's definitely going to be in play. There's definitely going to be strong stuff that's going to be down closer to I-40. Me personally, I would not go north of the Oklahoma border, but I really, really, really like starting off in Blackwell.
Yep.
Into the Blackwell and just camping out right there.
That's what we were seeing before we even got back.
Right on the border.
Right on the border.
And full disclosure, I was outside not watching the stream when these guys were talking.
Yeah.
No,
But
that's exactly the same spot we picked.
let's do this. Let's look at the sharpness of the dry line and the position of it. One thing that that's different, I think, between this day and the last day is this. On April 26th, we had do the 6 hour. You only had high contours, fine. This is one big difference between these two events, and the dry line is sharper. The dry line moved faster on April 26th than of 91 than April 26th of 16 will. And so on this day, you only had one wave of supercells. They fired off the dry line, they moved, then the front came in right behind it real quickly. On this situation, if we go over here, let's go back to Pivotal and looking at the future now to this coming Tuesday. Let's go over here to the surface. And you have to forgive me because I'm still getting used to Pivotal as a former COD user. Sorry, COD.
No, I'm gonna.
Let's see here. I guess right here. There we go. Okay. Oops. I don't know what I just did there. Oh, okay, we're good. All right, so this is at 0Z. You can see the dry line. Fairly sharp. It's not as sharp on here as it quite showed on the NAM, but it's still ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. Let's go forward an hour.
3 hours.
3 hours. Same location. In fact, in southern Oklahoma, it retrogrades. Let's go forward another 3 hours. Same location in Oklahoma. It's not moving an inch. Another, boom. Finally, we have an eastward progression of it. That fact alone combined with the fact that you've got multiple short waves rounding around the trough, you're not going to just have one wave of tornadic supercells. You're going to have multiple, including into the night.
That's what we said too.
And because of the boundaries that are going to get draped and the fact that the earlier waves of supercells are going to slightly work over the environment, the stuff that happens later is going to be discrete as well. So you're not going to get a big raging squall line that's going to fire up and unzip along the dry line. You're still going to get discrete storm modes. And your next round, your second round could potentially be worse than the first round of storms.
Because it'll have boundaries. Off those
Exactly.
first set of storms.
Exactly.
There'll be boundaries laid down. And
So let's
digs
work
into
off of
the-
that and kind of look in the.
Let's look at the Cape with time as well. So there's our just ridiculous sharp dry line. And you can see, even with it having that hard tilted orientation, it's not moving. It's the southern part is retrograde. The fact that the southern portion of the dry line retrogrades that much, it tells me that throughout the day you're getting continuous moisture return, constantly driving in, which is part of why you can have multiple waves, because you're not going to have a situation where your environment gets completely wrecked and then you're dealing with crappy spreads.
Storm low felicity is not really as strong.
But this is at like
This is
12Z.
12Z. So
So
we're talking about 7 in the morning. So let's go back to where 6Z. This is about midnight, 1 o'clock, and
And
we some great. I mean, I say great, but those are some pretty high numbers right there for the felicity.
Especially at night.
and that's not accounting for convective boundaries as well.
Right. And then you couple that with the Cape at midnight or at 1 o'clock, still near 3,000.
And we're looking at like Guthrie and just north of Guthrie, still central Oklahoma. It's going to be a long night, and these guys are going to be long tracked enough that they're going to get even up the I-40 corridor into my hometown, the Tulsa area.
Yeah,
I'm worried about my own family that's up there. And I mean, I've been chasing. I'm in my 11th year of chasing now, and I have never seen something like this during my 11 years of chasing. This is really an event that just. For us to have parameters like this, to go from I-70 down to I-40, this strong, we're looking at potentially, and of course, this is still looking at the models, nothing set in stone, things can always change, but we have consistent run-to-runs showing us from way out in the long range between the GFS, the NAM, and the Euro, which the Euro has been historically, pretty accurate. And the fact that it's in line with this as well.
You have the Euro here? Can we get the Euro up?
Not on pivotal.
We can only do the.
Just like 500 millibars and stuff.
But let's do that. Let's go ahead and bring up the 500 mil. But while he's loading that, I'm just going to finish saying this. If you've got family that live in Oklahoma, a lot of us do, even into Kansas, but particularly in Oklahoma, if they're along I-35 or just a few counties west and then all the way to the Arkansas border, you really need to have your family on point. On top of that, we're talking about storms that are going to be presenting an extreme danger. I myself am known, if you don't know me by my face, my name is Bart Comstock. I'm known for chasing a little bit extreme. I've had a lot of close calls. You can go onto YouTube and find videos of tornadoes throwing power lines down on me and stuff. I am not somebody to hold back. I very often get into the bear's cage, get way too close, push the limits all the time. This is a day that I will not push the limits. I am going to be southeast, maybe due east, but more than likely southeast of these tornadoes their whole life. I'm never once going to put myself in the direct path of them. I am going to give them space. I'm not going to get close. The fact that you have such good venting means that you do not have to get close. You do not have to get in the bear's cage. There's no reason on this day to do it unless you have a death wish. Period. You don't approach these storms by cutting through the core and driving through the hail core and then coming out into the bear's cage because you're going to drive into an EF5. You don't hook slice from directly behind the tornado and cut through the rain curtains to try and get it back ahead of the storm to see if you can see it because you're going to drive into an EF5 and you're going to die. Period. No question about it. You put yourself in the bear's cage and this thing's moving to the northeast or due east and you have a muddy road and you get stuck, no one's going to come pull you out because you're not going to make it. Period. So take it from somebody that does go balls to the walls and has no filter 99% of the time with documented evidence of me getting way too close to on YouTube. There's about 5 different videos of me being inside of a tornado or right in the outer circulation and getting myself in trouble. And even me, the guy who is, as Doswell put it, the problem with chasing today because of how reckless I've been, even I won't be reckless on this coming day. So let's go ahead and take a look back at what we were saying here a second ago. This is the Euro at 500 millibar.
This is at 12Z though, because you can't get that off hour at 0Z.
But even then, you see, let's go just ahead of it. Let's go back to, even though it is an off hour, let's go back.
This is that.
It's 48. That's way back.
Yeah, this is 12Z the morning of.
Okay.
This is the morning of.
And the fact that it's already that tilted, it's not going to lose that tilt throughout the day. Even with that, you can see the ridge, which is represented by the H over on the northern part of California.
You see the different colors here.
Can we zoom out even further? Let's do that real quickly.
You can do continental.
Okay. Because what I really want to see is look out past that. Still at it. Look out past this. You have that ridge there along the California coast up into Oregon, and then you got that big low that's setting up just south of Alaska, and then our low that's setting up on it. That ridge is not going to be able to offset the negative tilt of this trough. Just looking at the way the pattern is stacked up behind it.
1991 or what?
I think it's going to be worse.
Good.
And because the difference is that you had one wave on Andover.
I have two.
You got maybe three.
Jesus.
And this is
We were trying to run by that speed sign over there. We were trying to run by it and see if we could get it to go. What's the name got 18 miles per hour.
Oh snap!
Oh,
That's fine.
he's
so
going to
yeah.
be able to run south. Then.
Yeah, you don't even need a car to chase.
That's right. Just get out there at it.
So yeah, I mean it's definitely a dangerous day. It's shaping up to be a very dangerous day. If you don't have, I don't like saying this because it's hard to get through to everybody. But if you don't have experience chasing or very much experience, this is not a day to test it.
No, do not go out on your own.
Yeah.
Even if you're experienced, don't go out on your own. You're going to need situational awareness on these storms that you don't normally need because of the parameters. I mean, this is the kind of days that produce your El Reno tornadoes, your Pilcher tornadoes, your Moore tornadoes. If you get in too close and you're under the mesocyclone, you're not keeping attention to what's going on. The collar cloud goes under you. Next thing you know, you're swept up by a vortex. Yeah. If you really don't know what you're doing, you're going to drive. You're just going to drive willy-nilly into one of these things. And these storms aren't going to have the slow build up and then have the bird fart and then another cycle and then they produce a tornado. It's going to be storm, huge mesocyclone, tornado in like a 5 to 10 minute range from the point they fire to the point that they're doing devastation.
You think about like Moore. It was the first cycle that produced more.
Right.
It didn't cycle once. It dropped more immediately, and it tore.
It was like 3 scans of the radar from being initiated to violent tornado on the ground.
Pretty much. El Reno was the same way, wasn't it? It was just one cycle, one down, and that was it. And that's exactly what we're looking at today.
And
Tuesday.
You're also going to have to remember that El Reno was about the same. About 5,000. The difference on El Reno was that you had an established boundary early, which is what those things rode. That's why the area was so bullseyed. You didn't quite have the level of support that you have with this system. This system, I actually think, is worse than the El Reno day because of that.
I think you're going to have wider coverage of potentially strong to violent tornadoes than El Reno.
I think it's going to be a lot like what we've seen on May 3rd, 99, May 24th, 2011, or what we were just looking at on the Andover day. And except, you're going to have maybe a couple more waves of supercells, and the area is going to be a lot wider. It's going to be a broader area. So those previous real historic outbreaks have been really confined to just Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, or, just right there on the border between Wichita and Oklahoma City. This one, you're going to have a much wider space. If it were me personally, I would chase the middle to the northern part of that exit region without going into Kansas. But if you don't know what you're doing, you haven't done this a lot, if you feel uncomfortable trying to handle things your own, do not go out there on this day. And we also need to keep down on the cars. So just carpool. We can all see the same tornadoes. Let's just be friendly and share the road and share the cars. If you're going to chase the metro area, be very mindful of the traffic, especially after recent events where people get scared and they start driving. You're going to want to give the storms more space than you normally would. If something turns too hard to the right, you're going to put yourself right in the path of it, and you're not going to be able to escape. And taking shelter in a building is not really going to help you if it's going to be a very high-end tornado.
Right.
Just be aware of if you're happen to be going through Oklahoma City of all the construction and stuff too. You know,
There's a lot of construction
Absolutely.
on that 35, so
And you're gonna
be
have
mindful of that.
and you're gonna have
If you
flooding
panic
issues.
People, you're gonna jam up the interstate pretty
Yeah.
fast. So
I would almost just avoid I-35 and chase altogether.
That's another reason why
And you also
I
get, Oklahoma Highway Patrol that like to close I-35 too.
So-
They do it pretty frequently.
sometimes that works when they close the roads. They do a good job, but there's been situations where they have closed the roads and the tornado passed south of the barricades and people get caught. Another thing to worry about too is that you're going to have street flooding. You're going to have really if you decide to chase, just avoid the metro because the metro is probably going to get hit. And they're probably going to get a real bad one. It's probably going to be the newsmaker and the one that everyone's going to remember. But you're going to get great storms to go north. Play out in the rural area where you have a good grid. Make sure your tires are good on your vehicle. Make sure all your stuff's good to go. Don't worry about turning your light bars and crap on. Just get out there. Go back to the textbook old school days of storm chasing, like that Bill invented in the early 1920s, where you stay to the south and maybe just a little southeast of the tornadoes. And you don't let yourself get hit by the RFD, and you really don't let yourself get caught up in the ghost train because, like this show is named, there's a reason why he chose ghost train. It's not because of hype train. It's because the inflow jet on the southern edge of a tornado can be just as strong as the interior cyclone winds of the tornado. And this is going to be a good day. If you don't know what a ghost train really is and you want to know, go look up Dan Robinson's video of El Reno. When he's ducking down in the ditch, he's not inside the tornado. The tornado's north of him. That's that ghost train, the strong inflow jet that's pulling up into it. Another good example, go look at the Heston tornado. Pull that video up. Can we do that?
We can watch it. Yeah, we can watch
Okay.
it. Another good example would Adam Lucio, October 4th, Wayne, Nebraska.
Yeah.
You know, he was he got his windows blown out because he was probably a good half mile or so.
The reason I like the Heston video, just the home video of the Heston F5, guys, due south of tornado. This is an F5 tornado. This is a very strong F5 tornado. In fact, this day was a lot like Pilger in the fact that at some point you had two F5s on the ground at the same moment, and then they had a Fujiwara interaction and actually congealed into one tornado. But the thing that's crazy about the Heston tornado, which we're bringing up the video now for you to see, is that the guy, when it's going through the town, is standing due south of it, watching the damage, and you can see the ghost train, and the ghost train itself actually ingests buildings. So I know it's a little choppy on your end as we're watching this, but what you need to do is watch closely on the bottom left portion of the tornado, real close to the ground, and you're going to see buildings.
It's like poofs of smoke, it looks like.
Right, you're going to see black poofs of smoke get sucked back up into the backside of the tornado. When that happens, that's actually the ghost train destroying a building, and that's all the dust and insulation of the building getting pulled up into it. And we're not talking damaging the building. We're talking about destroying it. It's going to be a little bit later on in the video here. It's when it gets closer to the center of town by the water tower and the grain elevators. This tornado was very interesting in that throughout its life, it actually evolved 3 different modes. It was a rope. It was what you see now. There was a time period when it was a very strong wedge. Okay, so now we'll just watch that bottom left corner showing multiple vortice structure right now. This is one of the craziest F5 tornado days ever. There's one right there. A building just went in that bottom left. Watch where the mouse is, and you'll see another building here shortly get absorbed. There it is right there. See it training in the top of the trees? I know the rate's not very good for you, but you can see all that stuff being pulled in behind it. That is the ghost train. You know, the tornado has already passed by, but you have that strong inflow jet that's pulling back into it. And that's typically along the leading edge of the RFD, so you would get a quick wind shift there, which is part of what aids in the destruction of a lot of that stuff. While we are looking at this, very interesting, though, there's another building just getting pulled out before the tornado reaches into it. When you're looking at a tornado, and sometimes if you're trying to determine visually how violent it is, here it's kind of obvious because you're inside a city and you're generating, there's another building on the ghost train, you're generating a lot of debris and damage. If you look at the tilt, though, you'll notice that the backside of the tornado is almost vertical, straight up and down 90 degrees to the ground below it. And then you look at the leading edge, and the leading edge a lot of times takes this 45-degree angle tilt away from the ground. And when you have that combination of straight up and down in the back and that hard tilt in the front combined, you're typically looking at an extremely violent tornado. So, and you can just see there, this thing is Heston. There's the ghost train, clear as day, right there on the video. You can see it sucking into the back of the tornado. He's focusing on it, and you can see that huge building that just got pulled off its foundation. This town basically ceased to exist after this tornado went through there. These are the kind of tornadoes you're going to be dealing with. And that's why you don't get close to these guys. Because even if you're not in the tornadic circulation, you're going to get involved in those kind of winds. So definitely not a day that you want to get, within a mile of these tornadoes. Especially if they wedge out and they become greater than a mile.
Yeah, I'm heading out.
You getting out here, Max? Where are you staying in town tonight?
I'm staying with Steven.
I'm sorry. Hi, Steven.
Steven's
Are
watching.
you chasing that?
Oh, yeah, but I'm going to be. Yeah, that's right. Tours always be chasing.
Yeah.
I can't take ride-alongs. Sometimes on days like this, I'd be more than willing to take ride-alongs. However, I am driving for Extreme Tornado Tours this year. Therefore, I can't personally. Buy your tickets today.
What are the LCLs going to be on?
The surface.
I'll see you guys all out tomorrow.
Adios. As long as you can't see the space station under the base of these storms with this amount of cape, you're going to get tornadoes.
All right, so here's your LCLs. Well, maybe.
But when you've got like 5,000 joules per kilogram, I mean, Gerald type cape,
Right.
and this kind of shear, it doesn't, you're going to get wedges here regardless.
Well, I know, but I'm just wondering how low that cloud base is going to be.
I think it's going to be a lot like it was on May 24th.
Yeah.
And I think.
So this is, you can see the dry line, but I mean, you're looking at 300 to maybe 500 meters.
Well, and I'll say this: if you look at the dry line in Oklahoma, you'll notice that you've got that blue in between the whites and the actual dry line itself. So it's going to be kind of like that happened on May 24th. Storms, when they first started producing tornadoes, like in Chickasha, they were a little bit higher based, and then as they moved into the metro, they became ground scrubbers. Yeah, but they were already producing violent tornadoes. So that's another thing that's nice about storms. You'll still be able to see stuff photogenically before the mesocyclone drops to the earth.
Right.
Yeah, so
But by the time it hits the metro, it's going to be lower.
ground scraping.
Right.
Ground scraping wedges where you won't be able to really see. It'll be a lot like El Reeves, where you don't think it's the tornado.
Even May 3rd, 99, if you look at that video, the best video of that tornado was taken inside the clear slot behind the tornado looking back at it because, like Bill's saying, the rest of the storm was basically on the ground. The mesocyclone came all the way down to like 100 feet off the ground, and then there's this massive blob under it that was the tornado.
You may think it's a rain shaft, but you are part of the rain.
Well, and that's-
it's hard to distinct, especially if you're a little east or north of it. It's hard to distinct.
So
rain shaft ends and the tornado starts.
Yeah.
That happened in Joplin. Joplin was on the ground and was photogenic for like 2 seconds. Take it from somebody that was there at Joplin. The reason you can't find my video of Joplin on YouTube is because I couldn't see the tornado, and I was within a few blocks of it while we were trying to escape it. So I'm doing Project Hellstone. That thing was impossible to see. Period. And sure, you had another storm coming into the south, and you had the precip from it, and that affected it. But the LCL heights also at that point were on the surface. And had that storm even not been there, it would have been impossible to tell the tornado apart from the non-tornadic part.
Also, talk about May 3rd, 99, there were multiple waves of supercells that day and into the night. You had the first ones go through, then behind them fired up, then a third round fired off.
Let's go back to our Violent Tornado webpage, and let's take a look at May 3rd, 99. I think it's like on the top 3 of the list over there. Now, I may have to cut out of here a little bit early because I have to return my guests to the hotel.
So what are we looking at?
One thing we should have probably looked at on N91 was the Cape Gradient. If you do look at it, you'll notice that the most violent tornadoes rode the northern edge of the Cape Gradient as opposed to sitting out in the craziest part. But the Cape that day didn't extend all the way to the warm front. The better Cape didn't. So that's one difference in the environment. Here, you're just, see, this is what I was talking about, the warm front.
I can't get it pulled up on the laptop.
Okay. But yeah, you can see. So the warm front was actually here, and the best The best cape obviously was down here, but the most violent tornadoes were on that northern gradient there between the two of them. They kind of sort of fired off the triple point. That's one of the another differences here. The surface low wasn't quite as crazy. If you look over, let's go back over to May 3rd, 99. We're going to stay in the same hotel tonight, guys. We're going to stay in the same hotel tonight, guys. So, and tomorrow night as well. Yeah. So we'll just keep our things. Yeah. We're going to be with the same property through the rest of the tour. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, like I said, I'm gonna have to jump out of here in just a second. But looking at this is May 3rd, 99 that we're now examining. I know you guys can't see it, so we'll just kind of discuss what we're looking at here. Once again, tornadoes were riding the northern Cape gradient. Oh, hey, hi, I say, man, who's that good-looking guy in the blue? Oh, oh, oh. I'm gonna cut out, guys. You have a great evening.
Yeah.
All right.
Now the real science can begin. And you guys will be like, don't know what that guy's talking about.
Ben, you want to come talk? No. Okay. You were here. All right. Well, I think we pretty much said what we need to be said. I think everyone's got the point.
Tuesday's going to be a big day.
Tuesday,
you better be aware.
Tuesday's going to be a big day. It's going to be actually, I think, a very dangerous day. Yep. And so, Bart was getting really serious, and he wanted me to let me know that he wanted to do a serious talk about Tuesday. And we joke a lot on the show. He jokes a lot, of course, with chaser memes. But he was really serious about this, and I feel where he's coming from, because this is a very dangerous day. Whether or not this verifies the day of is to be said, but from everything we're seeing, all the models are winding up pretty much the same. The reading same. They're all saying a very dangerous setup on Tuesday. And it's not a day to, try something new or take a risk or anything. This is do that tomorrow. Do that Sunday when you have slower motions and very isolated storms. You can do your thing tomorrow. But Tuesday, I really urge everybody to keep their distance on these storms, because they will be dangerous. And Hank Shima did a great video a while back. I urge everyone to go watch it, about the dangers of chasing, where it's not really the tornado that's the danger. It's other drivers. It's large hail. It's your escape paths somehow being cut off by construction, or the road get washed out or something like that. There's a lot of dangers, and and this is the setup's also very conducive to very large hail producing, very large hail out of the storms. Yeah, we really didn't talk about the hail, but when you have that much cape, that much moisture, that much vertical shear, you're going to get reports. You're going to get softballs and grapefruits, and it's going to get lobbed out of the updraft way out ahead of it, kind of deal. So you can be sitting, a couple miles away from the base, and you're just going to get, you can get a random grapefruit to slam your windshield or something. So you have to keep that in mind too. And of course, with storms like this, obviously they're going to be extremely severe. Lightning threat will be very high. I think El Reno had some really crazy CGs, and so it was kind of almost scary to get outside because of that. And so there's just going to be a lot of dangers. And obviously this is a very hype setup. It's been hyped for almost a week now. In fact, this entire week coming up has been hyped for a week. So there's a lot of people that's going to be chasing it, and a lot of locals around here. There's just going to be a lot of people out Tuesday, regardless that it's Tuesday. I know SPC will be updating here in a couple hours, I think 2 or 3 hours. Wouldn't be surprised to see a day 3, at least enhanced, possibly a moderate. We were talking to some guys here earlier. Gabe Garfield was out here, and Tim Marcus and Kelton. They were talking about it, and Andrew Lyons, I guess, too. That they're talking about high risk. SPC is really kicking that word around for Tuesday. High risk is a definite possibility, and everything we've seen in the 0Z is definitely supporting a high risk. I wouldn't be surprised if they went high risk, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a high risk for tornadoes as well as hail. I would be surprised if they didn't at least go enhanced tonight. I think tonight they go enhanced for day 3 to get everyone prepared. Tomorrow they might throw in a moderate, but it's going to be a very well advertised setup, and that's why we're talking about it now. It's going to be a very dangerous day, and just everyone respect the weather, respect what you're chasing, and respect each other. There's not going to be any heroes getting any closer to a tornado than anyone else Tuesday. So just make sure you give everyone space and give yourself space too. You know, you don't want to be statistic. That was bless you, by the way.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. So and it looks like we're kind of winding down here anyway. So we'll call it a show. I want to thank everyone for watching. Of course, this is going to be archived on YouTube, so you can go back and watch it another time. Maybe we can do an after show next week or something about this week. I should be back in Norman next week. I got to be back up here anyway for my tour. So I'll be up here. We may do another show next week. But it's just be careful, folks. That's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying. Just be careful. Play it safe.
Be aware.
Be aware and beware of your surroundings. Have escape routes and know when to use them because Tuesday's looking really bad. So, and if you have family and friends here, let them know to pay attention to the weather. But I want to thank everyone for watching and hope everyone has a good night and good luck out there.